Ea mai Hawaii nui ake. Ea mai loko mai o ka pō. Puka mai ka moku ka aina, ka lala ni aina o nuumea, ka pae aina kukulu ka hiki. Ea, to rise up, to awaken, to come from below. Hawaii nui akea. Hawaii nui akea. Our people have awakened. Our people have risen. And that must be acknowledged. And so first I want to mahalo. Tihulu, Maui's own, standing with us. But also hand out to my brother, Dentu, who was ready on the Mauna. He was there already. But as we say, as our good luck charm, I think, when you get arrested up there. I also want to thank Trustee Colette, coming up, and others who have come up. That is the step. And I really appreciate, as I understand, that that's what perhaps will be happening soon with all of the trustees and staff, to really understand what is going on the Mauna. You have to come to the Mauna. Do not believe the hype from the so-called governor, Ige, who continues to lie and portray us in a way to dehumanize Kanaka, as if we're animals who need to be put into cages and drug off that Mauna, as if standing for what is right, what is pono, for the aina, for a kekia, mo'opuna, is regressive. And I would submit, racism, settlerism is regressive. Those days are over. We'll never allow a TMT corporation or anything like the TMT corporation. They should hear us loudly. We must remember, this is a foreign corporation. The headquarters is in California, India, China, Canada, Caltech, I forget one more, Japan. This has nothing to do with Hawaii. They may have selected certain Hawaiian pawns to be part of the process, but let's speak the truth. As my brother Kahokai said, this is a monumental time. And as I say, just like when the first canoes left, and they made that choice, some stayed behind, and some got on that canoe. That is the same question when I look at all of you today. That is the question I put to you. Will you join the people? The Lahui has risen. And if you cannot see that or feel that, perhaps you should look at another position as representing our people. Because there's no denying what is going on in the community. I can tell you firsthand, I cry every day on that mountain. I cry every day to see what I witness and experience. You know, one day I see a young high school kids come on through ceremony, followed by healers, our own Hawaiian healers coming on, followed by a Hawaiian motorcycle organization coming on. And I watched them participate and dance hula on that ala nui. I remember seeing, when you see these guys with their patches, dancing hula, this kani, the pride that they have, you cannot but cry to see what is going on up there. This has been the most unifying, spiritual, cultural time that's ever existed, I would argue, since 1897, the Ku'e petitions. We are witnessing, we're living this moment. And so I asked OHA, and again, I want to say I thank OHA's support. What OHA has allowed in support for logistics, whether you support or against the TMT or support the TMT, what OHA has done is helped us to stand together, to gather together, to dance together. For the first time in history, So no matter what they do to us, as I always say, at this point, it doesn't matter. It's only what we do as a people that really counts at this point. And this notion of science and culture, we must be clear. I am a big proponent of science because I know our culture is based upon science. Science is not only owned by Europeans. Science isn't owned just by Americans or Japanese or Indians or Canadians. We have always been scientists. And I invite you to come to our lectures that you can hear at our Pu'uhuluhulu University. I even taught myself and I teach from the opening lines of the Kumulipo. O ke awi kahuli vela taho nuua. The opening lines of the Kumulipo is based upon science. So any foolishness that somehow tells us that this is about our culture being regressive against science, you being had, you being fooled, that tells me you don't understand your own culture. Because if you truly did, there's no way you can accept. They don't own science. Science, it belongs to all humanity. But science can be misused. Look at Bikini, Rongelap, Inuwatak. You want to talk about science? I can go down history and talk about bad science out there. So let's be knowledgeable of our own culture. This is about our people, defining for ourselves what is best for our people. I often say we must also remind ourselves in this gathering, kapu aloha has been the glue, has been the cement, has bound our people. How shall we be victorious? By all the love that is necessary. That's how we will be victorious. Love for our Mauna, love for our Lahui, and more importantly, love for our Mo'opuna to come. This is what this is about. I would never want them one day, my Mo'opuna, to look up to them and we tell to our Mo'opuna, you know, one time before, Hawaiians used to go up there. We used to have a sacred Mauna called Mauna Kea. Maybe they can read them in Wikipedia in the future. I don't want that future. And we should recognize, as was shared earlier, right now, Kanaka are being denied. Let's be clear. Supposedly we have a state constitutional right. That's what they tell us. I learn in school. I teach that in my classes. And what is OHA doing about it? That's my question. This is the first time in history that our people have ever been denied access to Mauna Kea. I want you to think about that. First time in our history, in these islands, where our people are being denied the right to access, even under their constitutional rights, even under our Hawaiian rights, whatever card you want to play. And the governor does this without a peep from the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And that's what troubles me. So I encourage OHA to ask the governor, by what authority is he denying our hunters the right to access, cultural access, religious access, where you can witness our Kanaka being denied right there at the gate. And you can see when an astronomer can drive right there. Astronomer from Japan, Canada, wherever they're from, they can come and they can get their car and you can watch them drive right up. Protected. Protected. So when you think about discrimination, it is going on right now. Purposely against just Kanaka. That's going on right now. Under OHA's watch. So again, I encourage OHA to say something about it. I also want to ask OHA to speak on our behalf of the kiai and protectors, kupuna, mothers, daughters, sisters, brothers, fathers, and keiki who reside up there. And as I say, I'm a recent resident of this island for 2 months. I've been up in Mauna, but I have a home in Waihuli and Maui. Where people have gathered in Kapualoha and peaceful assembly of protest. But you remember this, peaceful assembly of protest in Kapualoha. And we are threatened right now with being removed, by dangerous, including military tactics, are being planned right now. I want you guys to understand this. So in the governor's press conference that they talk about, oh, we're using these kind of hyperbole words with attack. If you're planning to use helicopters and tear gas and flash grenades, and I tell you right now, that is in the plans. Ask the governor himself. Have they used that even in their planning? And I will tell you they have. And I'd be happy if he says no. They're not at all. I get no problem apologizing for that. But I know that's not the truth. I'm here to speak the truth. Are we going to wait till they do that to our people before the Office of Hawaiian Affairs makes a comment? Or will the Office of Hawaiian says that they stand with our right in Kapualoha to peacefully gather in protest against this foreign corporation, who are subleasers, by the way. And as human beings, we should not be treated with threats of violence and military force upon a peaceful assembly. And I ask OHA to use your voice to demand that the governor not employ those kinds of tactics upon our people. There have also been actions recently, as if you follow the news, or maybe not the news has been funky, where they're using even counterintelligence measures through the police to attempt to instigate trouble amongst our people. Why? Because they understand, in order for them to justify and legitimize using the kind of military violence on our people, they have to falsely create, let me tell you something, falsely create this image that we are like savages who need to be quelled, using even including the National Guard. Office of Foreign Affairs should again also tell the governor to refrain from using the kind of language to try to portray us in that savage-like way to justify their evil deeds. And just last, which has also came out, the Office of Foreign Affairs should also approach President David Lasner and the Board of Regents of the University of Hawaii system, the biggest pimps and pushers of the TMT, who have faculty, pro-TMT faculty representing the TMT, has spoken on behalf of the TMT, and you might have heard some of the things that they've been saying or writing. It's an institution of racism that is festered, protected, and allowed to occur at the University of Hawaii. That mentality has to be challenged. We should never allow that kind of sick ideology and supremacy at our institution, which sits upon our lands. So with that, I encourage and I applaud the Office of Hawaiian Affairs to come, stand with the people, work together, unify in lokahi, get on this canoe, As this canoe is ready to sail, e holo kako, mahalo.